what's going on, guys? Bix here, bringing you another squad builder on FIFA 18, and this is going to be another FUT Champions squad for you guys. And in goal, we have Bernd Leno, and I'd say go for a different German goalkeeper, to be honest. You can go for any Bundesliga keeper in the game for this team, so if you have Neuer, you can even go for him. But I'd say go for Farman or Timo Horn over Leno. He was honestly underwhelming. He made some great saves, had some really nice moments, but I feel like he did not live up to any sort of expectations which I had for him. But the two center backs, we have Naldo and Socrates. And I thought Naldo was really solid. He's a very, very, very good center back on this game. Even if he did get a pace downgrade, he's still a beast with some nice pace for being 6'6". He's strong. He's great defending. He's tall as hell, so his slide tackling and his overall tackling is, I feel like it's enhanced because he's so tall, and he's just great. And Socrates was an amazing center back. Definitely one of the top center backs I've used on the game. His 90 stand tackling just absolutely defines him. He's also really, really quick, and he is a complete beast in the air. Honestly, I can't recommend him enough. And that center back partnership of him and Manolas would be one of the best in the game, considering how good they both are for me. I might want to use them at some point. And the two fullbacks of the team, we have our Piszczek and Dalbert. Dalbert, once again, I've used him before. I've said the same thing about him before. He is just pure pace. That's what you buy. That's what you get. He doesn't really offer anything spectacular. He is just completely fast. It makes him feel a lot better at defending because of how fast he is, because he just overlaps your opposition's wingers, and rather than tackling them with some good technical tackles or whatever, he just overlaps them and steals the ball that way, and it works for him. And then we have Piszczek, who's not the fastest, but he does make up for it, unlike Dalbert, with his great defending. He has really, really nice interceptions and overall tackling. He's aggressive, and he does have good sprint speed, so once he does accelerate, he is able to catch up to your opposition's wingers pretty well, although he was left in the dust a few times that I can remember, which did lead to goals scored by my opponent. So yeah, he's not the fastest, but I don't know. He's a good fullback. He's usually in good positions where he doesn't have to utilize his pace too much anyway, but there are times where you do come up against really fast wingers like Martial or something, and he does get burnt by them. But the three center mids, we have Hamsik, Fernandinho, and Paulinho. I thought Paulinho was really solid. He's just Mr. Consistent, you know what I mean? He's just all around, he's good, not great at anything. It's hard to even speak about him because he's just so average at everything. But he's good. And then Fernandinho, I thought it was amazing. I mean, I call Paulinho Mr. Consistent, but that is absolutely what Fernandinho is. He's one of my favorite midfielders on the game, I would say. Every time I use him, he's so good. He gets goals, he gets assists. He's one of the best interceptors I have used on the game, one of the best ball winners I've used as far as midfielders go in the entire game. I'm so impressed by him, so surprised by him every time I use him. Just so good. Really great passing on him. Good aggression, like really great aggression. Stamina, his slide tackling, his stand tackling, his interceptions, his ball control is decent. He's agile. The dude is just perfect. He's a perfect midfielder. The only thing that can make him better, I guess, would be if he was a little bit taller, maybe had skill moves, but I don't really care about skill moves too much on a sort of a box-to-box midfielder like that. Then we have Hamsik, who I can say now is one of my favorite players on the entire game. He was the star of this team, hands down. Amazing, amazing player. I'm not really surprised because I generally love players like this in FIFA. He's so balanced, and there is a definite emphasis on attacking in his play. He always gets forward and is constantly trying to get himself into great positions to score goals, and he does. His positioning was amazing. He always offered a goal threat from the midfield, and look at the finish here. Like, bam, this dude's shot is so good. You saw the first goal that he scored me there, that beautiful finesse shot. He scores more than one of those for me. I believe he scores me long shots as well, like power shots. He definitely has that in the locker. His shot is very powerful, so accurate, and he also, yeah, as you see there, he also has really nice ball control and dribbling. He felt strong and aggressive in the midfield, although if you look at his strength stat, it's like 68 or something, if I remember correctly. But I really don't know, man. He always gets in the end of these really nice build-up plays, and he always finishes it in the top or bottom corner. His finishing is amazing for a midfielder. His passing, range of passing was great. He also was a 5-star weak foot, so he has that versatility with shooting and passing with either foot. And look at the dribbling there to get past like 4 players, and then the beautiful finish in the bottom corner. This dude is incredible. He costs around 50k. At least when I bought him, he was around 50k. The market is going a little bit crazy right now, so he's probably around 40, 45 at the moment. I'd say it's worth it. And look at this finish. Like, he's just so clinical. I can say that he'd be an amazing false 9 center forward as well, or even a center forward in a 4-4-1-1, a center attacking mid. He'd be an amazing one. Everything about this card is just amazing. I have no complaints about him whatsoever. Look at the finesse shot. He does everything. He does everything. Like, not to mention his defending, which I didn't even mention yet. It's always pretty good as well. His interceptions and stand tackling, which are the most important stats in a midfielder, are both in the 70s, and he does a really good job to win tackles in the midfield. He does everything for your team, and then just ended off with another beautiful finesse shot there. He's incredible. Buy Hamsik. Even if you're not making this team here, just buy Hamsik. He's so good. And then the 2 wingers, we have Insigne and we have Ousmane Dembele. And I thought Insigne was a super solid winger on this team, although he wasn't as much of a prominent goal scorer as he was in the past team I used him in. He still did a really good job and did his Insigne things with just the crazy dribbling and agility, making him a complete menace for your opponents to deal with. And he also has that. I mean, look at the finesse shot on him. He has a really great finesse shot. He's definitely one of the more useful players I've used, or one of the most effective players that I've used with cutting inside and just finessing it. He's so good at that. As you see right there again, he's so tricky to defend against. Pretty bad defending from the opponent there, but still, you cannot deny how fast he cut in there and how good the finish was. Insigne is really great and so much fun to use as well. Although it wasn't as prominent as he was in the last team, as I said, still did a really good job and a great little finish there. Didn't score me a whole lot of goals or get me a whole lot of assists, but he still played his role very well. He's still Insigne and he's still amazing. And the other winger, of course, was Ousmane Dembele. When I first started using him, I was under the impression that he was a super disappointing card. I really didn't like him whatsoever. He wasn't doing anything for the team. He was overly weak. I felt like he wasn't really contributing in any way. But then once I got used to him and learned how to use him properly, man, he was fun to use. And if you look at all the goals he scored for me, you'll see that they're all pretty much the same, except for maybe one of them, where I just run from near the half line, beat like 4 or 5 players for pace, dribble a couple players, and then just shoot. Most of the time, it's a finesse shot on that left foot, because he has a 5-star weak foot, so you can shoot a cross goal, and you can cut inside and shoot. That makes him so tricky to deal with. His dribbling was honestly amazing. He has some of the best dribbling. He cuts inside so fast, and when you do get it on either foot, his finishing is actually really decent. Although not as consistent as I would have liked, it was still good. He's a good finisher, and I also would not look at the goal record for my players to determine if they did well for me or not, because during that weekend league I used this, which was last weekend league, my Wi-Fi was complete shit. I had to get my router changed and everything. It was complete shit, so I disconnected from about 7 or 8 games. So 7 or 8 games went to complete shit. And I didn't score any goals or get any of assists in 7 or 8 games for this team. So I wouldn't really look at the goal record when determining if this team was good or not. But you'll see another goal right here. Very Ousmane Dembele goal. Dribbles past so many players. Berba spin inside. And then little finish there on the left foot. Yeah, most of the goals that he scored for me was with his left foot. But he does have the 5-star weak foot. So left, right, it does not matter whatsoever. He was honestly so much fun to use. He's very weak. But other than that, there's really no complaints to bring up about him. Because even though he's weak, his ball control is very high, his dribbling is very high, his agility, his balance is good, I think. I don't really remember 100%, but his balance felt good in game. So he does make up for it sometimes, but he's still a weak as hell player. But he's still good. He's a really great player, honestly. He's going down in price, and I'd say he's worth giving a try. He was a lot of fun to use. And Gabriel Jesus as our striker, probably one of the most overused players on this game. I have to say, every time I go into FUT Champions, probably in about maybe 70-80% of the games, I come up against Gabriel Jesus in the team. He is so overused, so I was excited to use him somewhat to see if he's as good as people think he is or say he is. And I have to say, while he's not as good as I expected him to be, he was still a good striker. And if you look at the goal record, there's no denying that it's a really great goal record. He is an amazing goal scorer, although he was missing a little something that I was expecting him to have. But look at that finish there. That's crazy. But he's not as good as Papu Gomez or Dries Mertens, who I'll be making a squad builder around very soon, showing you guys that. He's not as good as them, but he's still good. I mean, he's really, really good. It's just hard to talk about him too much because there were times where I had to force the ball to him to score, but majority of the time he makes really good runs. His natural positioning was very, very nice and super useful. I mean, look at the positioning right there. He stayed in the perfect position to receive that ball, and then the nice little finish there. Although, one thing about his finishing is that if he had better finishing, if he was able to finish the chances that I gave him, he very well could have had a lot more goals than he did. His finishing was quite disappointing at times, where he missed a lot of sitters, but that wasn't often. Like, I'm not gonna pretend like he's a shit player, because he's really not. As much as I want to come here and say do not use Gabriel Jesus, because I fucking hate playing against him online, so I want to tell you guys, do not use him, please. But I can't really say that, because he's a great striker. He really is a great striker. I'm very conflicted about what I'm trying to say about him here, because I'm trying to say that he wasn't as good as I expected, but then when I'm looking at these goals and I'm thinking about when I used him, the dude is really good. He's fast, he's amazing on the ball, really great dribbling. He holds onto the ball so well. Although he's weak, he does make up for it with his ball control at times and his agility. His passing was good, really nice link-up play. He played some really nice balls through for his teammates. When you get him in front of goal, he is a really clinical finisher. His finesse shots were good. His power shots were surprisingly good as well. His shot power is a lot higher in-game than what it says in his in-game stats. And goddamn, he's a great striker. He's super overpowered. For an 81 rated striker, he feels a lot better than what he should. And I understand why people use him so much in FUT Champions and in this game in general. So that's the team, guys. I did pretty well within FUT Champions, considering I disconnected from 8 games. I ended up finishing Gold 3, I think. I could have finished Gold 2 or even Gold 1 with this team if I didn't disconnect. But anyway, guys, I would definitely recommend picking this team up if you have the coins for it. Thank you for watching, and have a nice day.